So the example that I want to give you that makes use of these differences between forward and futures and spot rates is a simple one where imagine if you are a chief financial officer of a big pharma company and you're going to need to borrow $20 million a year from now for a phase 3 trial or phase 2 trial that will last 3 years. Okay? So you need to borrow $20 million, not today, but a year from now, and you need to do that and hold on to that loan for a full 3 years. How much is it going to cost you to do that? And how would you do that if today you find that the interest rate that you're getting is attractive and you want to lock it in? All right, well, you can wait a year and see what happens. But as a good CFO, you're thinking, wait, if I wait a year, I'm subject to risk because the interest rates can move against me. What if it's really expensive to borrow a year from now? And if I can lock in the rate now, I don't have to worry about that. Might that be a good idea, do you think, today, to do that? Under what circumstances would you want to lock in the rate if you think that interest rates are going to do what? Go up. And you just told me you thought they were going to go up. So maybe it's a good thing for us to start thinking about that now, right? All right, so let's do that. Here is the yield curve or term structure of interest rates, the spot rates today. So the spot rates are, if I want to borrow or lend for a year, it's 5%. If I want to borrow or lend for 2 years, it's 6%. Then it's 6.5% for 3 years, and then it's 7% for 4 years. So you were right. The term structure is telling you that the rates look like they're going to go up, because if you want to borrow for longer, you're going to have to go up. So what is the 3-year borrowing rate 1 year from now? What we're looking for is the future 3-year spot rate, which we don't observe. I don't know what the future is. I don't think any of you know what the future is. So we can't observe the future 3-year spot rate 1 year hence. But what we can observe is the forward rate 1 year from now for a 3-year loan. That's embedded in the difference between the 4-year rate and the 1-year rate today. In fact, the ratio of the 4-year spot rate to the 1-year spot rate, properly normalized, gives us the implicit forward rate. So that's this calculation. And it turns out that the answer is 7.68%. That's what we would have to pay for a $20 million 3-year loan that we take out next year. And if you like that rate, you can have it. How? How can you lock that rate in? Well, it turns out with this particular term structure of interest rates and access to these bonds, you can do that. And let me tell you how. So here's the strategy. Let's assume that these bonds have a $1 face value. They're very small bonds. Then I'm going to ask you today to buy 20 million 1-year bonds at date 0. They mature in a year and they pay $1 each bond. I want you to buy 20 million of those right now. How much is it going to cost you to buy 20 million of those? Well, we know one of these bonds is about 95 cents to the dollar. Each bond costs about 95 cents. So I need 20 million times 95 cents, please. And that means that I'm going to be spending $19,047,619 today to buy these 1-year bonds. Okay? I'm going to buy them today. At the same time, I'm going to short sell 4-year bonds. How many 4-year bonds am I going to short sell? Oh, I don't know. Let's suppose I sell 24,967,543 of these 4-year bonds. Why do I want to do that? I want to do that because I want to offset my $19 million purchase of 1-year bonds with an equal dollar amount of 4-year bonds. And when I do that, here's what I get. In year 0, I bought 1-year bonds and I shorted 4-year bonds. And so how much did I spend this year? Nothing. No money net of these two transactions. Come next year, my bonds, my one-year bonds mature, and I get $20 million. I take the $20 million, and that's what I'm going to spend on my phase 3 trials. And I'm going to wait 3 years, and at the end of 3 years, my 4-year bonds mature. I owe the counterparty $24.968 million. I've effectively locked in my loan today with that transaction. How much interest am I paying? Well, it's whatever it is I have to pay back divided by how much money I got to begin with to the 1/3 power minus 1, which is, surprise, surprise, 7.68%. That's my forward rate. So these forward rates are important because they're not just fictions of an overactive imagination. These are the wisdom of crowd numbers that you can bet on, that you can transact on, that you can lock in as of today. So this is a very simple transaction in the open bond market that will allow you to take out these loans in ways that actually will suit your timing, not necessarily the market's timing. All right? So that's pure discount bonds.